With summer in full swing, I feel that familiar urge to refresh my closet, but I'm not trying to waste money on pieces that I'm going to wear once or for just one season, and that's where Quince comes in. Their clothes are timeless, feel luxurious, look elevated, and the quality is way beyond what you'd expect for the price. I just got a white linen maxi dress. Now, if I had paid for that dress in a department store, I would have paid $170. Well, guess what? I got it for $69. And by the way, that same dress comes in blue pinstripe. Think 100% European linen top starting at $30. Washable silk dresses and skirts and soft cotton sweaters. Versatile warm weather pieces that you're going to reach for again and again. And the best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury without the markup. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So you've got to give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/Kate Casey for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Kate Casey to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Kate Casey.
When it comes to hiring great talent, Indeed is all business needs. Their sponsored job feature puts postings at the top of search results, helping employers reach ideal candidates faster. With 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs, according to Indeed data, businesses can build their dream team without delay. No monthly subscriptions or long-term contracts. Employers only pay for results. Every minute, 23 people are hired through Indeed worldwide. Speed up hiring today with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/WonderyUS. Just mention hearing about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. And I can't wait for this episode because I've got Guerdy from Real Housewives of Miami. You know, that's my favorite of all the Real Housewives franchises. You should go back and listen to my interview with the executive producer, Matt Anderson, which was about a week ago. It gives you way more insight into the making of the show. And I think what stands out for me about this franchise, and certainly in Guerdy's story, is that you get so much really rich storytelling in not just the women's singular personal stories, but also in their complicated friendships. So make sure that you start watching that show if you have not done so already. And then I think that if you have been watching Guerdy's story, you will find it most compelling. She is a breast cancer survivor. And in this episode, we talk about her recovery and all of the nuances that come with that. Now, this week, Ozzy Osbourne, the legendary frontman for Black Sabbath, a solo rock icon, died at the age of 76. Known for his haunting vocals, rebellious spirit, and larger-than-life persona, Ozzy helped define heavy metal for generations. Offstage, he was a devoted husband to Sharon and father to 6 children. His unexpected evolution from bat-biting rock god to beloved reality TV dad made him one of pop culture's most surprising and enduring figures. When the Osbournes premiered on MTV in 2002, it shattered expectations and redefined both celebrity culture and reality television. The idea of Ozzy Osbourne, this rock legend, this prince of darkness, inviting cameras into his chaotic Beverly Hills home, it really felt unthinkable. But what viewers found wasn't a spectacle. It was actually a surprisingly tender, funny, and deeply human family story. Ozzy would fumble with remotes. Sharon fiercely protected her kids. And Jack and Kelly, who were the younger of the kids, would slam doors just like every other teenager. Their lives weren't polished or scripted. They were loud, messy, and full of heart. And in a time when fame was still filtered and distant, the Osbournes gave us something radically new: authenticity. Long before the Kardashians, the Osbournes cracked open a new genre of TV, celebrity reality TV. And with a show that wasn't about glamour or drama, it was about connection. And Ozzy wasn't performing. He was simply trying to keep up with the kids and show up for his family. It's almost poetic that the man once known for biting the head off of a bat became reality television's most enduring father figure. For all the myths and mayhem that followed him on stage, Ozzy Osbourne off stage was something far more unexpected. He was gentle, he was goofy, and a deeply kind-hearted man. Like I said, he wasn't performing for the cameras. And we watch a lot of these shows, and it feels so much like people perform. Ozzy was simply just trying to figure out how to keep up with his kids. So in doing so, he didn't just pioneer that new genre of TV, he reminded us that even the wildest legends can be tender at their core. So if you want to watch old episodes of the Osbournes, and I highly recommend it. I mean, just since the announcement of his passing, I'm sure in your algorithm you're finding there are a lot of clips from the show, and they are laugh out loud funny. You can go to Amazon Prime Video. They are streaming all 4 seasons with and without ads, depending on your plan. You can also watch the spinoff, The Osbournes Want to Believe, which is streaming on HBO Max. And then you can also buy individual seasons or episodes via Prime Video or Apple TV. So my heart is with the Osbourne family, and an enormous amount of gratitude, even all these years later, for opening us up to their family, to their home, because they really did make an indelible mark on reality television. So again, in this episode, I've got Guerdy from Real Housewives of Miami, and I hope that you guys are going to check out the What to Watch list, because as this weekend approaches, I've got a lot of stuff for you to watch. And also, I just put up 4 Reality Life with Kate Casey book club selections, especially as you go into a vacation. You're going to want something to read. And I've got some great upcoming interviews with the authors of those books. And also make sure that you check out the bonus episodes, which are up on Patreon at patreon.com/KKC, but also on Apple Podcasts. So here's my interview with Guerdy. Guerdy.
Yes, my love.
I love seeing you. And you know what? I don't think you've looked better.
Really? Well, I got my makeup did professionally.
But your skin looks good. Like, you look great.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. How's it going with you?
Great. Well, one of the things I just talked to Matt Anderson about the making of the show and the mechanics of it.
Yeah, our producer. Mm-hmm.
One thing that I always say that I really love about Real Housewives of Miami is that I feel like it does the best job of telling the personal stories and the complicated friendships. And it's surprising all these years into Housewives how unique some of the stories have been. Julia adoption has not been really told on any of these shows. Like, that's pretty incredible. He pointed out that the show is the only franchise where everyone is an immigrant. The fact that you were the first housewife to open themselves up to cancer treatments, that had never been done, which is pretty incredible for the length of time the Housewives has been on. And the way that you have, again, opened yourself up and highlighted this personal journey. At last we spoke, you had noted that you had received a deluge of messages saying, because of your story, I went to the doctor. And at that point, I'm going to say maybe it was like 180. What is that number at about now?
Oh, no. I mean, we're talking thousands. We're talking, I don't count, I haven't counted, to be honest. It's thousands. And, and now that the season's picked up, because we were on hiatus, so it was trickling in slower. And then now that we picked up, and now it's the aftermath. And not everyone talks about that either. No one wants to talk about that. You don't feel sexy anymore. No one talks about that. One breast is here, one breast is there from radiation. No one wants to tell you how bad it is because no one wants to listen to it anyway, by the way. So it's not like, all I can do is use my social media, my platform to just be real and be honest, because you see this, you look good, Guerdy, and then the person looking at you that also has cancer is like, well, I definitely don't look like that, and so something's wrong with me. So I did, a thing which is decide to go outside of that and share. No, I'm going to show you my tits. Here it goes. Mm-hmm. Look at them. I am not perfect. The shell is made look good when we're all put up together, but I don't want you to think for a second that I'm a supernatural thing that I'm not. I am you and you are me, and we're in this together.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because that, again, is something I have really not seen anywhere in media. Again, another wonderful part of Real Housewives are these stories are being told here in spaces that a woman over 40, especially a woman over 40 with children, especially a woman over 40 who has survived cancer, are just not being told. So what is the reality once you start to receive treatment and you're walking into being cancer-free? Because what you've noted is that you go through a whole sense of identity. So could you talk to me a little bit about that? And I think it's important because there are a lot of women that are listening to this. They may have just begun their cancer journey. They may be halfway through or completely through that. And I think you're going to speak to them.
Well, first, I want to say that the reason why you don't see a lot of people sharing is because of the stigma behind it, right? You know, like people are going to judge you. People are going to say, oh, poor little you, and act like you're not, you know, you're lesser than because you have a handicap. So it is extremely hard to go out there and take the bullets that, you know, I take right now because of the last episode where people feel that because you have cancer, you need to be right here. You can't be human anymore. You got to be a good girl. And when you say the C word, you got to behave this way. And you can't do anything else outside the box, you know? And so for me, I am human and I have my story. And my story is my testimony for me. And the way you handle your cancer or your survival, etc., that's your story. I am, and I had to label it because it's hard to understand what you are now because you're not that person that was back there. So I had to label it to visually say, this is who you are and stick to that bullet point. And that's Guerdy 2.0. And there's some things that the old Guerdy wouldn't do. And there's some things that this new Guerdy will do. And it may make people feel uncomfortable. And I'm okay with that because there's a point where you have to set boundaries when you're this new person that you didn't before. And you have to now educate and re-educate people on how you want to be treated. And it's going to make people very uncomfortable. And that's okay. Secondly, using the C word with association with something else does not necessarily make it a clash, okay? Because people are so powered by thinking if there's a party and it's cancer related, it's a cancer charity. Yes. And no, we can have a celebration and I can get on the microphone and say, thank you, Jesus, I'm still alive. Thank you. This cancer thought it was going to beat me, but I'm 100% that bitch. And those two can coexist in one room and for it to be two separate messages that can coexist. And on the show, as you see, a lot of people, there was a lot of emotions, right? Some viewers were like, oh, you've weaponized cancer. And I'm like, no, I was just telling you, it's just like a birthday party. I feel good, happy 40th birthday, big milestone. Cancer is my milestone. And I can party with that celebration and also do something else that is outside of the typical. So it's shocking, but it doesn't give anyone the right to say you did this, but you couldn't because you talked about cancer in that same room. So we have to normalize the reality of cancer. In one room, 1 in 8 women are going to have cancer. So I had 3 people in my room, including myself, that had cancer at my party. Is it a cancer party? And is it a survivor party? Or is it just a party where there happens to be people who have cancer or had cancer and are survivors, right? So I'm here to talk about the things that people don't want to talk about or acknowledge. And I'm willing to be that ambassador and try to normalize this and break the stigma of that.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. No matter how hot your summer gets, Liquid IV can help keep you hydrated for the adventures ahead. This summer, I'm traveling with my son Jack for lacrosse tournaments. Hot, blazing, sunny afternoons. There is nothing that tastes as good and keeps you as hydrated as Liquid IV. I just tear, pour, and enjoy. And I'm calling out to all of you parents who will also be watching your athletes this summer. This is a game changer. The sugar-free options include white peach, lemon lime, rainbow sherbet, and the new Arctic raspberry. But they've also got cotton candy or popsicle firecracker. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, and always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Squeeze the most out of your summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at liquidiv.com. Summer is my favorite time of the year. Nothing is better than a backyard party. Do you love having people over to enjoy the warm weather in your outdoor space? Do you need ways to entertain the kids while they're out of school? Well, if you're having a backyard get-together, Wayfair is your one-stop shop for outdoor entertaining. Cookout, shop patio tables, grills, and dishware. Pool party, kick back with lounge chairs, day beds, and umbrellas. Game night, Wayfair's got cornhole, croquet, and string lights to set the scene. And with fast and easy shipping, it's never been easier to get ready to party. So however you kick back, you can go to Wayfair for effortless entertaining and game-filled gatherings. I live in a neighborhood with houses that look like Cape Cod, which is where I spent time as a child. It's one of my favorite places in the world. And with Wayfair, I can decorate my entire house and my backyard with the most beautiful white furniture that takes me back to Chatham. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. And the best part, free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. I can't even tell you, I feel like I ordered it and came right away. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way more for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to explore a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. You had mentioned early into the season your own feelings about your insecurity about your body.
Yeah.
I think everyone collectively feels like your husband is one of the greatest people that walk the earth. And you can see the love and adoration he has for you and for your sons.
Yeah.
But even with that support system, you even felt that way.
I didn't recognize her. I'm not here to tell people the bad stuff or what I do. I'm about to have a hot flash in 20 minutes. My fan is being, I'm not here to tell you all the kinks, okay? Because, the people who know, they know. And so I'm just here to, try to reintroduce myself to myself.
Do you feel like a completely different person?
Completely different.
You do.
Completely different.
And not just physically, but the way your lens through which you look at the world, does that feel different, and how so?
Completely different. The humbling pill that you swallow when you have this disease and when you survive it, it just gives you a new perspective on everything around you, life and so forth. And when I say trauma to trophies in his book, right? This word trophy, the trophies are not any longer tangible. You will not see my trophies because they're here. They're right here. Russell's next to me. They're my boys. They're my health. They're my new outlook on life. That's my trophies now. It would not have been the way it was before. So in this book, I talk about what I was raised on, the trauma that created this the Guerdyfying process, and what life used to look like for me and what I valued then, and how this new page created a completely different version of myself that I had to label. Okay, this is the second version. This is a new life. You're a new person. You just have a rebirth. And so now I'm just a different person.
Do you feel like in the beginning seasons, you had more patience, and that because through this process, I mean, you're all required in a very unique way to live out loud and be bold.
Yes.
And that makes the show unique. Sometimes people watch and they're like, I don't think I would have ever said that in a social situation. But creating a show requires you to do that. But when you look at how you would have reacted to certain seasons in the first season that you were on the show versus now, do you feel like you are less patient?
Yeah. You know what? Because I have an urgency to get on with the business of life.
Yeah.
and so when, let's give you hard examples, because I think that maybe the viewers are watching the show and want to kind of have me apply examples, right? So you have myself and a group of friends, right? And we've been friends for now almost 6 years, and there was no issue then, but now there's an issue, and all of a sudden you're being labeled things that, they're not, they're all of a sudden are highlighting. Okay, highlighter, all of a sudden, oh, she's too extra. She's too much. It's always about her. And you're picking from descriptive words with not examples of exactly why I'm this, you're calling me this now, but not 5 years ago. And we're going to have to be honest, and it's not going to be fun for some people to recognize, but a lot of people who have cancer, the people around them are like, oh, now it's all about cancer, Guerdy, or cancer is all about her. And it's a resentment in a sense, right? Why is it about her and her cancer or her journey and what she thinks when we're here too?
I do think there is a layer of that. I do think there's a layer of it because what people don't talk about is that if you are in support of a friend who has cancer, it is a very long journey. And I think we live in a time where people have a very short attention span. And you're on a television show with a bunch of people who really become accustomed to being in the limelight. And I think you see the real people kind of surface because they understand that this is a process that is can be debilitating, but they see it as you're getting so much attention in a way that they perhaps would want for themselves.
Nobody wants this type of attention.
I know, but I think that's what's important. I think that's what's important about what you're doing with this opportunity is highlighting like this is not an easy walk. Like cancer has impacted every aspect of your life, and it is not. It's not attention you would have sought out.
Yeah, I was so happy being best planner in the world.
Sort of
right?
what you were dealt, and
yes,
I think that's the unspoken thing that's happening this season, and it makes me sad. But I think it's the reality, and I think in the long run, I think people are going to really appreciate that you've kind of ripped the Band-Aid off of it. And I'm sorry that you felt lonely in many moments this season. And so I think it would be helpful for people for you to just kind of walk through that party and your mindset.
Yeah.
Because I think as we watch these shows and we, in our own heads, think of you all as someone that we know, a friend, somebody in our community, and then try to imagine all the complicated ways that your lives intersect and communicate, that we may miss something. And so if you could just give us a little bit more context.
Absolutely. So, when we had the hiatus, I literally was so excited because I'm like, you know what? I got my 2 reconstructive surgeries. I'm good to go. I'm going to have my groove back. And I'm walking in here like these girls. If you saw last season, the reunion, we left on Alexia and I seeing eye to eye. Julia was obviously like by my bedside during a lot of my, my stuff. And so I'm like looking at it around the room at the reunion, and we're like all in unison, just having good, status on our friendship. So we go into a hiatus, and I'm communicating with them. I had lunch with Alexia. We cheers. She was, literally so nice to me, and the entire hiatus checking on me. How you doing, Guerdy? Good. Okay, good. Hey, I flew back. Let me give you actually an exclusive. I flew back from Africa. I was in Africa doing a speaking engagement, flew back and didn't go home, did not go straight to my home. I flew directly to where the girls were gathered to film that first scene that you see on episode 1, when Alexia finds out about the divorce and we're all hugging.
Right.
I flew directly to that. And I didn't have to really, but I did because I'm thinking I'm going to be there for Alexia if I can. I'm going to fly right there and go straight to that house. So that's the mindset that I'm on. You have to imagine the shock of me watching TV with the audience and having her say, oh, I'm not inviting her to my event. She's going to make it all about her. Okay, wow. Oh, no, Guerdy. Oh, no. Like, what happened? We were just texting. How you doing? How's it going? And now the cameras go up and this is what I'm receiving. Something happened that was cut just like this, like an axe, where we were all communicating. I was in a group chat with Kiki, Alexia, Marisol, and myself for about 8 months. Something happened. Someone got in their ear. Okay, I think you guys all know who that person is. And all of a sudden we film and no one wants to hang around me. No one wants to give me any, and I'm being iced out. Not only me, a couple of the girls on the show. So it was too much of a cutoff that I'm now in pain and hurting. I'm like, wait, what happened? I thought we were going to have dinner and hang out and film together this time. And fun. No? Oh, water, assault. Like, I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
So it's not like there's something brewing and people are like, oh, Guerdy's going to get it. Oh, she deserved it. It's like I did nothing but come back to, the show Revival, and everyone came back and there was something there that I didn't know about because everybody was nice to me, to my face, and behind my back, there was some agenda going behind. And then the cameras go up and this is what you see. I'm with you watching it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that feeling, wanting to experience more stories, but struggling to find the time. That's where Audible changes everything. With over 1 million audiobooks and Audible originals, there's a story waiting to spark anyone's imagination. Take The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, the gripping psychological thriller that's keeping listeners on the edge of their seats. Imagine unraveling its mysteries during your morning commute, or losing yourself in its twists and turns while doing household chores. That's the magic of Audible. It transforms daily routines into opportunities for thrilling discoveries. The best part? Members get access to thousands of included titles, with new content added regularly. From bestsellers to hidden gems, every genre imaginable is at their fingertips. And with one easy-to-use app, switching between favorites or discovering new passions has never been simpler. There's more to imagine when you listen. Start a free 30-day Audible trial and get your first audiobook free at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
With Ring cameras and doorbells, you can see and speak to who's there from anywhere. Here's what that means for me. When the pizza arrives and I'm in the backyard, no problem. I can let them know I'll be right there. And my dog? I can keep an eye on him even when he's being sneaky. Just pan over and, yup, caught him with my shoe again. The best part? When someone's lurking in my driveway, I can speak to them directly. Hi, can I help you with anything? It's amazing how quickly they leave when they realize they're being watched. With Ring, you can see, speak, and protect. Explore cameras, doorbells, and more at Ring.com.
I think that the one thing that people were like wincing at was the showing the text, because it feels like we live in a time where a text message is so personal. And
It is.
I think the fear hits people. Like, what if someone were to do that to me?
That is actually very true. But guess what? It happened to me. When Julia opened up about this imaginary situation that we had, mind you that the cruise happened before season 6 reunion. Season 6 reunion. Did she bring it up at season 6 reunion, the cruise? No, she was actually like having my back. Larsa, this and that. How dare you go to, Guerdy? She was like right on the side of the couch with me. Like we were together like this. Not one discussion about Guerdy. Remember 2 weeks ago? Not one. We went to dinner that night, all of us. No problem. You wait a whole year? Texting me, hey, how you doing? I'm sending you flowers. Martina has the recovery all the way through. And now you start with a Zoom call issue. And I'm like, but I tried 3 times. Oh. And then now you start with the cruise issue. That's bizarre. And that's very odd. And that feels very calculated. And maybe there was a motive that she had to, use me for. She already had her whole journey. Why did you sabotage yourself with adding me into a lie that I can easily prove? And she knows this. What happened was, this is where I made a decision to do something that is not characteristic of me, is that she thought Guerdy's so nice and she is so gracious. She's going to actually wait this entire 17 episode season. And then at the reunion, maybe she'll do but no, guys, here it is. And you thought I was going to sit there for 17 weeks of you slandering my character?
So you just felt like it was bubbling up and to the point that you couldn't keep it in anymore.
That's right. And she actually started the lie by sharing the text message, because the whole cruise is based on text messaging. So if she brought up the topic of a cruise, she would have had to show and or read out loud the situation of the cruise. So you're right. Betrayal of a text message is very personal. So she betrayed me by sharing my text and creating a whole story lie based on me. And so guess what? I have to counter and defend myself and show the text message where it shows you everything that happened. And that's that. So if she's wrong and I'm wrong, then we're wrong. But there's nothing that I did that wasn't done to me where I felt like I am not going to be that old Guerdy that's going to say, okay, that's it. That's not how I'm living my life right now. And I get to choose what I do with that. And the party that I did was a Not magazine launch party that was celebrating life, where I had the opportunity to talk about my testimony, my cancer journey. And so you hear the word cancer at a party. There were 2 women here who are my really good friends who were survivors at my party. Does that make this a survivor cancer charity event that Guerdy ruined for Julia? That's the narrative that they want to say because they're afraid of the truth, because the truth will make them choose a side. And I don't think they want to be on my side. So it's kind of like, we didn't read it. We can't read it. We can't hear the truth. We don't want to hear it. So that's what happened. But it's a party. It was never charity. I would never weaponize cancer for the use of entertainment pleasure. It's a party where I get to talk about cancer, and the C word is going to be in there for the rest of my life. So if I'm going to weaponize my life because I'm talking about cancer every day, then it is what it is, I guess.
You know what's so great about these shows too? All of us have very complicated lives, right? There are things about all of you that some of you may keep quiet for some time, and then you find you're at the point where you want to share it. So it's all like everyone, it's like moving plates everywhere.
Yes.
And I think that when someone is able to totally share their story and you get further context, you give someone grace. And I hope that all of you kind of look back in some time and go, I had no idea that was what was going on with you. Because I feel like in your show, unlike other ones, I feel like you guys all have tremendous love for one another. So as much as you argue and you fight with one another, there is a deep love that exists. Am I wrong?
There's the love is somewhere. Okay. I need to try to look for it after what has happened when it comes to Julia. There's some things that didn't make it on air. There's some things that are very underlying that, you that I'm holding in because again, I'm still struggling with this new Guerdy, right? But it's kind of like, there's the bad things happened and the intent is the end goal, but the intent is where the most hurtful thing. And I need to get the chance to process all of this, because the intent is where the betrayal is deep.
Is deep.
But I want to make sure that people also acknowledge that 2 weeks after it happened, and I was at home and just couldn't even begin to process that what happened, the humiliation, the degrading of just the act of throwing water to someone. It's like,
it's really
nothing,
upsetting,
right? 2 weeks later, I have dinner with her and you see me giving grace. Okay.
Yeah.
I did scream. I was unhinged, I guess, but this was a reaction to what you did. And you see that attempt. Then we were supposed to be starting at zero. The pact that she proactively brings to the table is, I won't ever talk about the girls, to you about the girls anymore. What happens at the narcissist party? No one's asked you to raise your hand. What if someone beat the victimization of it all when you're the aggressor, but now you want to gaslight me to make it seem like I came to you with this issue that you started? Don't create a cloud and get mad when it rains. Don't create a storm and be mad when it rains. So that's where we are at. And I gave her 2 chances. And that's when I said, what is Guerdy 2.0 going to do now? Because the old version showed up twice. And now it's time to, the guardrails have to go up. And that's that. And it was done at my party, my way, which was not a charity for cancer or survivor party. It was me, my party.
Well, will we see this continue to play out the rest of the season?
I don't even know because I'm watching it live right now. So there's, I don't know, but I do know that you'll see some good times coming. The good times are coming.
Good, because we love that too. We love that too.
I can't sit in shit. I just can't. And that's why you see me. Okay, let's forgive each other. We're going to move on. Okay, let's forgive each other. We're going to move on. Okay, well, you do this again. So I guess let me show you. Slap on the wrist. You don't get to do this again. Yeah. Now do you want to start from zero and really move forward? So you'll see that this event, my party that I do, was the slap on the wrist that teaches people how to treat me. And now people are going to know. And then we could have a restart. And I think in Spain, you're going to see we have fun. And you'll see some fun coming. But this is the dark cloud right now. And we got to be comfortable with watching it.
Yeah. Well, there's some great news here because you've written a book. I want you to tell everybody about it.
From Trauma to Trophies is my book. And this is about rewinding the clock, the years, the time, all the way back to my childhood and why I am the way I am. And people are like, oh my gosh, I can't pin her. I don't understand her. I've been misunderstood many, my whole life. And this explains to you where I come from, the cultural confusion of hopping around.
There's so many different places. You were in Haiti, and then you moved to France, and then you're in Miami, and all these cultural center points.
Oh, yes. And just being the girl in the schoolyard, not even being able to defend herself by the language because I had a language barrier. And now to be in this position where it's taking me back to that exact place where I was. And now I finally I'm able to speak up. So the things that I do are not comfortable. It's uncharacteristic of me. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a full circle moment and still spinning and it's spinning. And so this explains the why, the how.
Yeah, because if you have ever been in a position where you feel like you've been silenced, there is something in us as women where we're like, I refuse to live in that space ever again.
And not everyone's going to like it. People are going to say, wait, what are you doing? You're crazy. You're acting crazy. Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm just not acting the way you expected me to act. I'm changing the pattern, the monotony. And that's what I'm sitting in my truth. And, do you think I love what I did? Of course I don't love what I did. I'm still in shock of what I did. Mm-hmm. But the first thing I thought about was my mother. When I decided to do it and I said, oh, no, I'm doing it. I just thought about like, this would actually be a proud moment for my mother to see me. Finally, you go, speak for yourself. You can do it.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody where they can get the book and then tell everybody where they can follow you. And again,
yes,
my immense gratitude for allowing us to get a window into the cancer treatment and recovery process, because very few people have the opportunity or the want to share that part, and my gratitude to your family as well.
Thank you so much. This book is available right now for pre-order on Amazon.com, Trauma to Trophies, and the unforeseen events that redefined me. And I'm on Instagram, Guerdy Design, and the other stuff, which I don't like to promote because I'm not really good at TikTok or the X. Instagram is where I be.
I'm so happy. You look very healthy and happy, and continued success to you always.
You're amazing. I love you.
And you too.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my fantastic guest, Guerdy, and remind you to click subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review. Join the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. Bonus podcasts on Apple Podcast and Patreon. My What to Watch list can be found at katecasey.substack.com. And follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @KateCaseyCA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, and Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey. Check back tomorrow for an all-new Saturday series episode.
Packages by Expedia. You were made to be rechargeable. We were made to package flights, hotels, and hammocks for less. Expedia, made to travel.